Man, De La Hoya needs to get control of his house.
Okay.
That's the problem. He needs to get more involved and get in control of his house. Ryan Garcia going on rants and stuff. He needs to check Ryan Garcia and let him know, like, hey, man, I'm the one that writes your checks at the end of the day. I understand you the product. I get you, but I got your back. But man, we can't be airing out our laundry like this. They need to get on the same page. They need some counseling. They need some therapy.
Oscar De La Hoya and Ryan Garcia, they really need to patch up their relationship because they're having all kinds of problems and they're airing out their dirty laundry on social media, on X, formerly known as Twitter. So let me get to you, Chris, here. They need to work out their differences in private, and if they don't, are we headed for a divorce here between Ryan Garcia and Oscar De La Hoya?
I'm going to take a wild take here. I'm going to say no, they don't need to take it on private.
No? Okay.
No, this is getting a lot of airtime for Ryan without fighting. And Ryan's been really, really good at that. His marketing for his social media and whatnot has grown him well beyond his ability to what he's done in the ring. And Oscar, he's kind of like that now too. He's a retired fighter. He's one of the biggest promoters in the world. He stays in the headlines. His social media, I enjoy it. I think it's hilarious, a lot of the stuff that he posts. But a lot of people, shake their head about it. But I think these two are able to keep each other in the limelight and in the news and us talking about it because of this Twitter beef that they have going back and forth. I wouldn't be surprised. If these guys are really smart, they're doing this on purpose, which I
was
think
going to say, is it good for business?
Which would be great. It's good for business. Any news is good news. When it comes to these kind of guys who are such. They're huge characters in our sport. Ryan Garcia and Oscar, especially Oscar De La Hoya. But Ryan is also big because of his ability to bring in outside fans. So I don't know if this is the worst thing for them because Ryan doesn't fight that often. I'm not sure if we're going to see him in big fights anytime soon. So this keeps us talking about him. It keeps Oscar out there as well. So I don't know. I don't know if this is by design or if this is just their personalities, but I think either way, it gets a lot of eyes on them, and I think that's ultimately what they're trying to do anyway.
Man, De La Hoya needs to get control of his house.
Okay.
That's the problem. He needs to get more involved and get in control of his house. Ryan Garcia going on rants and stuff. He needs to check Ryan Garcia and let him know, like, hey, man, I'm the one that writes your checks at the end of the day. I understand you the product. I get you, but I got your back. But, man, we can't be airing out our laundry like this. They need to get on the same page. They need some counseling. They need some therapy. That's what both of them need. They need therapy. You talking about the marriage? They need to go sit down with a shrink.
Family counseling?
Need to go talk to somebody, man. Because, look, and I see what you're saying, champ. You're saying that you like it. I don't like that stuff, man. I'm not into that, man. I like to have my dirty laundry, in the cubby hidden somewhere. I don't like
Oscar puts his own dirty laundry out. That's my whole point.
Look,
Obviously,
man,
he's doing this on
he made a documentary about it in his dirty laundry.
He either doesn't care or he's doing this on purpose. So that's on him. He's a grown man.
I can tell you this: that Ryan, out of all the crap he's been talking on social media, I want this guy. I want Haney.
Right.
That fight fell through. All right. Oh, I want Romero. That fight fell through. Romero's now fighting Cruz, Pitbull Cruz. Right? Who the hell is Ryan Garcia gonna face now? Him and his promoter need to get on the same page because Oscar's chasing one, going one way, and then Ryan's going a different damn way the next week. Who has the problem? The problem is Ryan Garcia. It ain't De La Hoya. I'm telling you. It's Ryan Garcia because Ryan Ryan said that he wanted Haney, right? So what did De La Hoya do? He was trying to get Haney into the ring. And then all of a sudden, Ryan goes to hang out with Floyd Mayweather, and now he comes back and says, no, Haney, and he puts it out on social media. His promoter don't even know about it. He's just doing his own business, don't give a damn, and not respecting the guidelines of the sport. It's Ryan Garcia. Like you said, Paulie, I'm not going to use the word. The boy got some issues, man. He got some issues.
Take him to the zoo.
Not only in his personal life, but
zoo.
he got some issues in the boxing sport, too.
Have Teddy take him to the zoo. That's basically what it is, right?
Take him to the zoo.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, in the Rolly Romero situation, it was funny because as soon as Ryan said he wanted Rolly, O'Hara Davies had been signed by Golden Boy and he was going to fight Barroso. Obviously, he ended up getting knocked out in one round, but the expectation was for O'Hara to win and get a title shot with Rolly. So Oscar retorted and said, looking forward to putting in O'Hara Davis and Rolly Romero. So basically saying, like, I'm not agreeing with Ryan changing direction here, calling this audible and deciding he's going to fight Rolly Romero. Now, obviously, it all imploded either way with Barroso knocking out Davis in 1 round. Congratulations if you bet him, he was plus 1,800.
There you go.
Sportsbetting.ag.
There you go.
This is the ProBox unofficial betting strategist here, by the way.
But I'll say that, yeah, I'm curious to see. Can you imagine, like, when Oscar De La Hoya had that squeaky clean image in the mid-90s, right? He had that squeaky clean. If you could teleport into the future in the world of social media, and you see some of the things Oscar posts now, you would say in 1995, oh, wow, Oscar's boxing career ends up making him lose his mind. You know, like, he probably takes too many punches and ends up losing his mind. Because some of the things he ends up putting public now, compared to how squeaky clean his image was in the mid-90s, you think it's 2 different people, man. I mean, you're thinking, like, oh, wow, this guy lost his mind. You know, like...
Well, Paulie, the things that came out without his knowledge, that he didn't want out, are so bad that the things he puts out now are
at this point, he's like, all right, I'll just own it and just go with it, you know? And that he might be just change strategy altogether. And again, he's calling an audible even on his own strategy. I don't know, man. In some ways, this sells more. But yeah, I also agree with Tim. You keep your dirty laundry in house. I think when you air out your dirty laundry, it creates a lot of opinions one way or the other. Maybe that's what you're after, because in today's social media world, creating opinions is good, because then, you know, people are talking about you. Then Ryan can come out and fight anybody. He can fight either the big names, or if he wants to, you know, pad his record with a couple of wins, he'll like the last guy he just fought, he can he can go and fight somebody else, and he's going to remain in the public eye because of this social media presence.
The algorithm prefers this.
Yeah.
It prefers the head-to-head. It prefers the fight rather than working together.
I mean, at this point, think about it. At this point, especially with these post-retirement fights guys are doing, you may see Oscar versus Ryan, bro. It would not shock me. It wouldn't shock me at this point, because Ryan can't beat a world-class fighter anyway. And Oscar is formerly a world-class fighter, but at this point, you know, past his prime, still obviously keeps in shape and all that stuff. But
past his prime, he's retired for.
I mean, at this point, could you put it out of the question? With the way this thing is unfolded, would you put it out of the question? You know, especially that Oscar's always trying to one-up Floyd, and Floyd's trying to one-up Oscar. Can you imagine?
See, there you go, Tim.
Can you imagine that? I mean, Ryan versus Oscar, and then potentially Ryan could have a win over Hall of Fame on his record after not being able to get a big win in his career. You know,
that he can be proud of, right?
Yeah.
Well, we just called the card grudge match. You know what I mean?
Well, by the way, on X, on Twitter, everybody agrees with you, Tim, that Oscar would beat Ryan Garcia in a fight. So
at this point, it's getting so bad, it's going to be triple X between these two. It's going down further and further down the gutter. But hey, people like to watch train wrecks. I guess that's why reality TV became so famous. And this is like a real reality show playing out over X.
So who is Ryan going to fight? Who
Oscar.
can Ryan fight?
Oscar.
Besides Oscar, like a real fighter. Is there a guy out there
that he can beat?
In the ring with right now?
That he can beat?
They're gonna find another. They're gonna find another dwarf.
Anybody that he can.
I mean, you can get him anybody. I mean, the last guy. Where'd they find the last guy? I mean, that guy was delivering cartons of vegetables. And then they found him. I mean, like,
because the kid sells no matter what.
Yeah, you can find anybody at that point. You know, like, wow. Now, as far as big names, then then you're gambling with the image of Ryan, because you keep a guy like that winning. Honestly, it doesn't even. Listen, I'm ashamed to say it doesn't even matter who he fights, because his image is so big that
they're gonna do the classic protect the moneymaker until he can get a big money fight. So from now until some of those big fights materialize, which there's none really on the docket for the foreseeable future.
They rolled the dice against Davis, and they rolled the dice against. They said, okay, we can't really roll the dice for this guy. Let's just move him into a different lane for now and keep him winning.
I disagree with you on that, Chris.
Okay.
I don't think there's gonna be the whole protecting thing with him. I mean, he fought against Tank Davis.
But that was a dice roll. That was a dice.
Look,
that was where
it was a dice roll.
But that's where it exposed it.
It was for the money too. I get it, but he's not afraid. I don't think the young man's afraid to fight the big names out there.
Think he is.
I just think that he needs to get on the same page with his damn promoter, and he needs to stop being influenced by other people that's not in his business. Like one thing is, you're not supposed to be talking to another promoter when you're under contract with the promoter. You're not supposed to do that.
That's something a lot of people don't know. A lot of contracts make that illegal for you to talk to another promoter that way. People forget that Floyd is also a promoter. He promotes Romero. He promoted Rollies. So when he comes back from a run with Floyd and goes, I want to fight this promoter's guy, no one put their hands up like, hey, you can't do that. But that's what happened. That you can't do that. We as fighters know that because we know how our contracts are. But the fans at home forget that Floyd is still a promoter, and he promotes Rollies. So that whole thing was no bueno. But
yeah, that was a little shady there, a little shady right there. Yeah, for sure. Oh, but by the way, the term that we have we're gonna patent it here on ProBox TV. If someone has mental issues, we're gonna say take them to the zoo instead of the other word that could be, that could ding the platform. We'll put it that way. So if they have issues, we're gonna talk about take them to the zoo. All right, that does it here for Top Stories. Don't forget to download the app and like and subscribe subscribe all our social media platforms. And don't forget Wednesday night fights here on ProBox TV. Sportsbetting.ag is the official betting sponsor of Wednesday night fights on ProBox TV. And Paulie's betting information does not necessarily reflect the betting
the views of ProBox TV.
ProBox TV. Take care.